up to date and all that. If you're watching this live anywhere but Zoom, you can actually come visit the Zoom call too. Just go to aeo.co/free, join the Free Forever community, where Julian and I, mostly Julian, will be teaching you how to perform answer engine optimization free for the rest of our natural lives. Because that's about how long it's going to take to solve this problem. Just kidding. What up, Jack? Julian, how do you feel, buddy? You ready to rock?
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'm ready.
Dude, we've got a good showing here. This is awesome. We're going to be doing this every week. This is a moving target. We're climbing a muddy hill. And to be honest with you, that's great news. It's great news because it means that for those of us that want to stay up to date, we will continuously find new opportunities to send our competitors downstream and put ourselves in front of the flow of the most valuable traffic the internet has ever produced, to statistically speaking. So, Julian, I'll follow your lead, buddy. I know you've got the itinerary.
Sure, sure. So I have some housekeeping first, and then we can dive in into um our topic today, which is the AEO roadmap, which is really, 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 really exciting. So let's get started. I'll check our participants, make sure that we don't miss anyone. So yeah, well, this is going to be the most clarifying call yet because we have dived deep into the most urgent and specific topics that you guys have questions about. But this one is a little bit the overview of what we have been working on so far. So this is the most directionally correct guide that you guys can get from the visual perspective and as to where you stand and where you have to get in order to be recommended by in terms of what we have discovered and analyzed. So, well, we start with some housekeeping items. This is for pioneers and strategists, which are our premium and VIP subscriber members in the school community. We are not able to change the names to pioneers or strategists, but still, we are going to call you that because that's who you are. So for both of them, we have a special service that we are rolling out, which is the AI visibility tracking. If you are subscribed to any of those tiers, you are able to enter the new classroom section specifically for that, and you will find the AI visibility tracking form inside of that. So in there, you will get to enter your business details and 5 commercial intent queries. Um, 5 is the best number that we can think of in order for us to make it manageable, and also that you get the opportunity to focus in 5 aspects, 5 main types of queries that people might be asking. So there's a lot to talk about AI visibility tracking right now because it is not like a perfect solution, but it's the solution that we might have. So the example that I gave on one of the newsletters of the emails that I've sent regarding AI visibility is that we of course we want the radar. We want to know where we stand at the specific moment, but in the current storm that AI is, we can use a compass, and that's what it is. This is a compass. We get a direction as to where the answers stand in our market, so we get to follow the right direction and optimize from there because there's a lot of things moving right now, but this is one of the most exciting tools that we want to provide you guys with. So going a little bit deeper on that, well, we need to simulate your ideal customer in a sense, like find out what will be the last step in the research to find you. So we know that for any customer journey, they will spend a lot of time finding out what their problem is, and what the solution to that problem is, and then they will find which solutions match their needs. So that's the specific point in which we want to find and add these queries to our tracking, and that's why we created this query ideation bot. It's a Gemini bot. We tried ChatGPT, but for some reason, I think this iteration was a little bit better. So the way that this works is that we will track your brand recommendations in ChatGPT. You will provide 5 commercial intent queries. Again, if you don't know how to create them, go to the query ideation bot. All of these resources are inside of the Pioneer Classroom section. These are solution-aware questions that should lead to your brand being recommended. So something to keep in mind here is that in the past we used to try to aim for broad types of questions. So digital marketing agency or anything like that is just too broad. Like there's many businesses trying to do that, and that's the old way of trying to do like SEO, which was like how the traditional index worked. But AI is able to break down your any longer question, any specific natural language query that your user have, and it's able to break it down in different searches and build your answer from there. So the more specific, the better. This is the opportunity for you to try to claim your own space, your specific type of service. You are able to be more specific when targeting your pages and everything like that. So try to do that as well. Try to include the specific functionalities that your product or service offers. If you are a local business, by all means, include your location and other things that might be related to any of your audience needs. So those are the things that you can add. So it will end up being a long tail query, and those are quite better to track your visibility on because, well, otherwise it will be too broad and that will be more competition, and people are just able to go into as specific and granular as they can get. So yeah, you will get an AI visibility score for individual queries for each one of these 5, and also an overall of the 5 queries tracked. You'll get a lot of insights into the competitors that you are getting there, and also some nuance and details into like what was mentioned about other brands, which wasn't part of what the answer talked about my brand. So if we notice that our brand is not recognized for some feature or some specific thing, chances are that we are not doing a great job at doing that communication to AI, that we have to include that somewhere. So that's the value of this tool. Also for pioneers and strategists, we are going to be sending a survey early tomorrow, so to schedule one specific group coaching call. This one is going to be private. We are going to be holding those on the best times that we can find between each one of us. And these calls are going to be run by you. So each question, any specific question down to the detail, how do I do X on Y software or anything like that, that's the opportunity for you to jump in. And I'll also make sure to gather questions in case that you guys can make it to it, and publish those after these calls are done. So this is a great resource for troubleshooting, for ideas, for anything that you guys want to really go specifically in tactics and some actions that you are working on. Well, and the strategy is subscription level. The key aspect of it is a like a guided AEO optimization for your website. So once you get into that level of service, you will unlock this section of the classroom. In here, you get the initial form that you get to subscribe in, and we will conduct a website audit, an initial visibility assessment, and we will schedule a strategy session, letting you know what we found out and what the action plan is from there. So this is what it's included in that level of subscription. We call it the AEO website protocol. This is your guided path to AI. So there's caveats here, some things to mention. we are going to be running the management of your content, the creation of your content, the website structure suggestions. So we cannot edit each one of the websites because there's a lot of things to keep in mind. There's details, there's custom things that you will like to receive, and then in that way we only focus on the optimizations. We will make sure to give you the proper instructions as to what needs to change and in which format and ways, so that you get just the action points to act on, and then we can follow up with topical map and everything. So these are the specific items, like the packages that are included in that. So we do a business information remapping. We design the information pipeline. So the for each business, there's an optimal way to break down your business offerings that helps it to be understood better, to be retrieved, and to give access as well. So we go from technicals to information architecture on your website, and that's through a recommendation list that you get to act on, and we will make sure to try to help you like get there in the shortest time possible. We also set up your topical authority foundations. In here, we analyze your business topics, so we know that AI is really good at doing semantic relationships, and the better we do this job at really specifying the different levels of topical topics that our business should be an authority on, the best chances we have, the more connections we get to offer to AI to gather our information and enter our business. We also offer the content library production. So from this foundational topical authority map, we get to deliver the actual content library production. So we create highly relevant authority building content. So your site's organic reach is going to improve from there. So that's kind of the recurring action that we get to follow. That's the thing that actually sends the signals of relevance to AI and also traditional search. We get to offer an elite schema development, which is the most precise structured data deployment that we know of. We are going to describe each page properly with your business information. We are going to add some helpful schema over there, and also we'll connect the entities within your website, and also optimize for outside signals that might be of use for your overall business visibility. And also, well, at the end is we are going to manage your brand radar, which is again an AI visibility report that allow us to see how you perform to the most important queries. So yeah, that's all part of the AI protocol. So do you guys have any questions that I might answer before going into the topic?
Couple questions in chat. Jack asks, is that like long tail queries in reference to us being more specific with the reporting?
Um, yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So the more descriptive that you are, the better chances are you have to show up in there, and people are able to do that on AI. So we should be able to include, as I mentioned, specific details about our business, not only like um, a broad mention of the product, because there's many ways in which that many brands like already trying to do that. So we should be able to describe the most important elements and some details inside of that. So just try to add to what will be the bigger one. So what business do I run? So if I'm a digital agency, but I work only for home-based business owners that also want some specific outcome. So that's how we can go deeper and deeper, and I think that that's the best way to track your AI visibility in that sense. That's also your target. So if you consider that to be the thing that you want to be recognized as, that's a great tactic for you to also find out from the answers what are the actions that you need to perform in order to get there.
And question number two comes from Kurt. What is the AI building process called when it puts together the answer?
When it puts together the answer, um, well, I don't have a specific name for that because before that, well, you could call it RAG when it tries to go into a database or an index or anything and pull out the specific information that it needs from the sources or something like that. But the actual output, I will say that that's the output. That's what you get um, uh, by entering a prompt. The prompt. Well, in AI terms, in classical AI terms, that's what it will say. It will. You could call it. You could call it an answer. You could call it for a customer or a user that would be an answer. But yeah, I don't see a specific way to call it just yet.
That's it for the questions. Let's keep going.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's jump right into it. Well, we know the problem, but it's always useful so we don't forget. Organic search traffic is going down, mostly because Google is changing faster than ever before and being more aggressive. They are doing so many changes inside of their search results page. I have seen more features than organic results, so that's where you are at currently. AI overviews are eating up like 99% of informational queries, so that's no longer a tactic. That's no longer a goal for you. Impressions are no longer something that you can rely on to try to assess traffic after that. So and AI answer engines are revolutionizing the way that we discover. And this is just the entry point. I think I'm really convinced that chatbots are only the first wave. The next thing will be wearables. And the next thing after that will be robots. So if we want to get better position, this is the time because everything is going to be answered by AI in the future, and even the wearables that we no longer have keyboards and everything, and websites can disappear essentially as a concept. We will have to be in APIs or other ways to feed these agents that come from our information. So this is the best way to start. This is where we still have some a lot of control on the content, and when that shift is done, we are better prepared for that.
Just out of curiosity, who here is using AI wearables? Anybody yet on the call? I've got the Limitless pendant, and then I just bought the Pocket, which is not technically a wearable. It's actually supposed to stick to your phone. And so far, none of them are good, but you can see where it's going in terms of its ability to kind of start to show signs of life and intuit in my intent. Uh, and it's really exciting and also really horrifying at the same time. The thing that I'm most excited about are the glasses, which I was supposed to get at my last mastermind meeting, and I never got to pick up my copy. So I'll let you all know how that goes because I think I have one in queue.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Yeah, the thing with that is that right now we have to get into our computers or well or cell phones and access this information. Like it still requires some action, but the next step, these devices are going to be on all the time. They're going to see what you see and listen what you say. So that's why it's important because there's no way back to it. So this is really great. So our approach was that we spent thousands of man hours on AP calls, tokens, and sweat to find out how AI sources citations and finds brand recommendations. That's what the books is about. That's why all of these fun graphics are all about. We want to understand a little bit of that to be able to provide you with some really important information after the fact. Our approach also went through trying to identify the three conceptual level most important elements that you have to keep in mind in order to participate even in this next era of AI experiences. And this is what we came up with. The brain framework, again, is brand representation, like how your brand is being understood and inside of AI, your authority, how well you stand in the landscape. You need to be the answer. You have to be the thing that is the source for all answers in regards to your market. And there's also indexability, which is the most important step for me. Is the technical aspect of how AI understands content, how it navigates this information, how it finds relevance, and everything else that allows this system to access your information and gather that. So this is the conceptual level of this, and the solution is the AEO blueprint. So if you have got the book, you already have took a good look at it, and there's like the specific guide, step-by-step process on how we turn all of this knowledge into actual actions that you can perform on your assets. And yeah, our goal here is to get you the specific guide that works today for to become a recognized entity in the brain of AI. That's how we think. That's how we approach this this new endeavor. And yeah, well, I just want to go back and try to nail down really the goals of each one of these steps. So first, you want to give AI access. This is now the most actionable way that you can understand this process. You want to first give AI access to your business offerings and also your entities. So in the past, you used to be just words thrown around and that will work because us humans will understand the content on any page and that will be perfect. But now on, we are seeing that bot traffic uh, is um, is being the most prevalent type of traffic right now, and that's how we are navigating information discovery. So we need to give AI access in that sense, and also make sure that every entity, every product, every service that we provide has enough information and relationships to be considered an individual thing, an entity. The second step after that, we need to make sure that our brand is well represented, that is accurate, that everything that is being mentioned about us is either coming from us directly or is positive, that comes from any review sites or brand mentions that people do on UGC sites like Reddit, Quora, and everything else that matters for AI. So where they look, we should make sure that this representation of our brand is positive. And finally, we want to be the answer. That's the last step. I think that you cannot get there if, of course, you don't give access to AI because there's no way that it can reach out to you. And also, you need to make sure that you cover all of the elements that your brand needs to be in order to be found, recognized, and well represented. So after that, you get to be the answer, and that's through undeniable authority, and that's through different levels to um, consensus. So other people talking about you in a way that puts you there, and also through topical authority, which is how much do you know about the topics related to your specific business and audience and the things that your users are looking for. And this is it. So this is the AO roadmap. This is our approach is comes from first principles. So what we wanted to get to here with this structure is we wanted to offer you guys something that is based on long-standing truths like marketing principles that are really nailed down on human behavior, and but also that are really considering the facts of AI mechanisms and the way that this technology is working today, because that's what Kasim just said. Like, it's a moving target. Some things might change. A week ago, ChatGPT introduced a new element, like a new line of code that signals that they are understanding brands specifically. So if you go into those search results right now on ChatGPT, you are able to see that there's entities for brands, for brand names, and there's also entities for products. So this is really important. They are doing that because they are pushing really hard on in-app shopping. So that's the way that they get to recommend or find the connect the brand that people are finding out with the brand that with the shop in a sense. So that's the first step, and then I think they will follow up with services like other types of offerings. So that's how important this is. But anyways, these things is based on foundational concepts. So anything that you work towards and you optimize, you will get something that you will need looking at the future. We are not promoting cheap tactics. We want you guys to understand the basics, to work on their foundation and start building your brands and authority in a way that will be an investment rather than a waste of time. So let's go into each one of these levels. So let's start with indexability. Um, this is again the way that you give AI access. We have noticed that even though that AI sources don't match 100% those of Google results, we can kind of follow the same process, like the way that we optimize our content through a hierarchy of metadata. Like everything should start from a title and a meta description. Hopefully, like we are able to send relevance. There's a step-by-step process that these machines follow, and it's close related to what Google does, but in a more simpler way. So they get a title, they get a snippet, which is like a summary, quick summary of a page. So if you put a lot of things on a page and you are not clear enough with your headings, your title and your snippet should not be interesting for any of the searches, so you will be skipped. So that's the way that we improve your site content within the indexability phase. You have to get AI bots and crawlers inside your website so that you will be part of an index or you will be part of their sample of sources. So that opens the door for you to get recommended, to get cited. And the second part is again a little bit deeper into brand representation, and I have divided. This is where I have the most knowledge of, because I have like over 8 years of branding and I understand the process pretty well. So I have divided this in a way that, of course, you have to define your brand. Of course, you have to um, be clear about who you are, and what you do differently. But these steps are the most specific to how AI works. So you have to have reach. So your brand has to be present in the places that matter for your audience and AI. You will get double results. You will get a chance to be cited, recognized by AI, and also you will get visibility and brand recognition in your audience from there. So you will be building brand on both ends, and that's really 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 important. Then you will try to assess your brand recognition. So all of these efforts of being present, you will make sure that the actions that you are performing on those sites are positive, that are making waves, that are being cited. And that way you will find like how recognized your brand is, and after that you will mostly worry about your reputation, because this is the most important part, because you could have reach, you could be present on the places that matter for AI, you could be recognized, like I understand this brand is relevant to what the things that I look for, but if your reputation is bad, well, that's the worst way to be recognized. So the reputation is an important step right after you have done some of the things that we recommend here. And that's an ongoing process. Everything, I consider this to be like really an ongoing process that might shift with the market a little bit, but getting there is the most important thing. To consider everything that we are recommending here is really important for you to kind of check all the boxes and be there, be present, be updated to the needs of these times. And well, the authority, the way that I could define this is how specialized you are in. That's why um, long tail queries are really important because there's no way to be an authority on a broad term. You could say there's no best digital marketing agency because there's different, like thousands of ways in which you can be a digital marketing for different people. So you have to choose who you are going to be an authority for, and then build your authority from the developing these topics, this type of contents, the relationship that you will, the digital PR that you perform. So mm, the efforts that you do on your authority are really, really tied to the specific niche that you choose to serve, so that will make you relevant. If you don't choose, that's a harder task. If you don't choose, if you try to stick with the broad terms and everything. So yeah, that's the advantage. Um, in detail, are just specific elements that I added. This might change. There's some other things that we have prepared for you, so this is not the end of it. But let's just think through it. So for indexability, we know agent accessibility is really important. So fix your technicals, web vitals is still important. So we are getting into a time where UI is going to be less and less relevant because less and less users are getting to your site actually. So the most important thing will be to optimize for retrieval after you have optimized for access. Um, the business semantic map is where that's where you get to optimize your entity recognition. So you could have a service or a product that sounds the same as everyone else in your market, or you could have your product name to be something on its own. So the entity recognition, that's where it's important. If AI is able to say, yes, your solution, your recommended brand for this solution is this one, which offers this specific package. And that's going to be the step where AI is selling for you instead of you trying to do that effort on your own. The topical mapping is again like what are the topics that I have to cover in order for me to become an authority on my market. And the website structure is again the way that these machines understand the different offerings and the different types of information for them to find, to understand, retrieve, and everything else. And the structured data is the end of it. So once you have figured those things out, so the technical elements, the semantic elements, how you make these relationships within your content, then you just get to structure the data. You will add your basic schema. You will link your entities inside of that. And there's also an element that is important, which is the author optimization, which is again some of the things that Google is most worried about when talking about businesses that work on health or wealth. Because if you are on a sensitive topic and you don't put your face in there and they are not able to verify that you are an expert on that, you have no chance. You have no chance of being recommended. That your content credibility goes down massively. On the brand representation, well, the specifics of brand reach will be identify your audience, select what profiles to work on, and have some type of content strategy that now in times of AI, we get to turn into an engine. So instead of you having an Excel file and try to pick what topics to talk about, you get to build workflows and everything. So we are going to be trying to give you more information on how that could work to help you build this thing, because that's the new standard. That's no longer an option. That's no longer an advantage. That's rather pretty much the new way that we need to work to keep up the pace. On brand recognition, we need to understand that there's ways to do that, and we can do it alone by all means, but that's not going to be fast or easy. So there's things that we recommend. So our audience need working. So how we can connect between businesses that are not competitors, but rather can be allies in this effort. So how can we participate in some niche related podcast and other types of collaboration efforts that we can just share the audience and grow together. Those are the tactics that you can use to increase your brand recognition. Also content repurposing, so how we can make an efficient this big endeavor of publishing everywhere every day or something like that, a sustainable effort, and that's what the content repurposing aspect of it is. And also we need to measure the share of voice. So how much are we being talked about inside our market, in the places that our audience lives. Therefore, reputation, we need to understand brand sentiment, how we can inject our brand. That's some of the things that go around Quora or Reddit. So how can I can help people or help my brand be there without like waiting for people to talk about my brand, because those are the places that are most referenced in AI citations. And also, well, reputation management. There's some tools that we can recommend, and there's some specific recommendations and guides that we will provide in the future. For authority specifically, there's three elements that we consider to be really important: business citation, so be part of industry listings with a consistent message. So you could be on everywhere, but if your descriptions on those profiles are different from your site or your other profiles, there's a high chance that AI might be thinking that these are not the same person, these are not the same entities. So this is a really nuanced details that you get to optimize there. Linkable assets, that's something that is really, really interesting for us, because that's how you get actual engagement right now. Like you could have calculators or some other tools that now are not uh, dependent on a developer. You can vibe code him. That's again the new standard. That's something that you can do. So we will try to help you guys get there in the capacity that we can. For business reviews, we have comparison articles, which are these breakdowns that you can do on your own site. We have seen that being cited over and over. These are the things that I think from the research results are the thing that help AI decide which ones to pick for recommendations. There's also top and best articles. These are kind of on the gray area, because you could create those in your site, but how well you do that, it depends on you, because you will be kind of talking better about your service and not so well about others or something like that. But there's ways to it. So we are going to be going through that, and also UGC reviews. So we could find ways in which users can do this for ourselves in the places again that matter for recommendations. The last step, I think the thing that could move the needle the most from the things that we have seen from um, other research and everything is relevant mentions and digital PR. I think that's the thing that could move the needle the most. Still, uh, having a lot, and this is not just once. I think the volume game here applies for brand, for everything that relates to topical authority, and also for brand mention. So having a proper digital PR strategy that is not only trying to push like your brand, like here I am, I'm the best or something like that. There's ways to do that, like with proprietary research. That's something that is more interesting, because you are providing value to the users, and that also increases the echo of your brand message organically. So yeah, that's if you follow that step-by-step process, if you follow our recommendation, which again are based on marketing principles and are tied down to AI realities, That's why we'll get you recommended by AI. This is the most comprehensive guide that we can provide to you. We are going to be publishing the specific guides, the specific actions down to the specific points in the way that we understand it today, because some of them might change, some of them might not apply in the future. But we are going to we are going to make sure that all of these things are properly understood, properly explained for everyone to just get action on. Um, so yeah, I have created an AEO quiz, which is just a broad um, set of questions that you guys can follow and try to assess your current standings on this and some recommendations around that. So I will provide that right now, actually, if you guys are interested. Let me just make sure that I shared. Yes. And and that's kind of the quick run through the end result that we want you guys to get. This is the thing that we are going to be delivering next week. We are going to be pushing chapter by chapter of this process in the most actionable way, with some resources, with guides, with action points that you can just follow and start building your AI visibility and get recommended by AI. So let me just share this and I will be open for some questions.
Dude, this was great. While you're doing that, Julian, if you're watching on the streaming, remember you can come join us live. Go to aeo.co/free. You'll get all the resources Julian's referring to, and you'll be able to participate in the conversation. Julian, we have some questions. I will tee them up when you're ready. For those of you on the live call, if you want to ask questions, feel free to drop them into chat, or you can raise your hand inside of Zoom, and we'll call on you one at a time. Julian, would you mind killing the share just so I can see everybody?
Sure, sure.
Perfect. Question number one. Thank you so much for your patience. Adriana asks for more specificity on the brain framework. Adriana, if you want to unmute and ask your questions, we'll tee Julian up for you.
Sure. Hi. Thank you so much for the time. I have actually three questions. The first one has to do with the brain framework, and this one should be a really quick answer. I would love to be able to use this brain framework as, and introduce it to my audiences. I'm going to be doing a webinar in like 2.5 weeks on AEO. It's a masterclass. And I would like to be able to represent the brain framework with full accreditation, of course, because as I understand from Kasim, that Julian,
Mhm.
you kind of invented this, right? So would I have your permission, or what are the requirements for me being able to use that?
Kasim.
To be honest with you, if you're in the AEO community, my feeling is this is the type of information that can only benefit us if it proliferates. That's a
Yes.
word I might have just made up. So all we would ask is just proper citation, and we want the whole wide world to contribute to this in varying degrees. So that would be great, Adriana. Thank you. Take it,
Okay.
run with it, share it, and then
Awesome.
send people back to us. There's a, I'm going to make a quick departure, Julian, which you're already used to. So
For sure.
there's the most important book I've read this year, um, could end up being one of the most important books of my life. It's called The Last Economy by Imad Mastaq. Imad was the CEO of Stability AI, one of the companies behind Stable Diffusion,
Hmm.
and it's absolutely free to read. Here's why I bring it up, because it speaks to what Adriana just asked. The way we are taught to think from an economic perspective is flawed. The scarcity model has no room in an AI-driven economy, because an AI-driven economy uh, has no intellectual scarcity. Isn't that a weird thing to consider? And so
Yes.
the more we can put ourselves in a position of uh, collaboration, the better it's going to be for everybody. It's the first real example of Nassim Nicholas Taleb's anti-fragility in an open source ecosystem, where the more people that use it, the better and stronger it gets. Unlike every other resource, which the more, the more you log, the more trees die. The more you fish, the less fish we have. Like this is the exact opposite of that. And so the way to think about all this is if we can spread this information and get other people using the information, they will contribute to the pool of knowledge and then make us better at this. So
Yes.
send more
Yeah.
people to AEO.co. Good question,
Yes.
Adriana.
Great. So, and I have a couple others if you don't mind, since I'm here. The on the brand and niche, I mean that requires a lot of discipline in terms of saying, okay, this is where I play, because it goes to your mapping and how do you get the brand recognition and how do you stand out as the authority. For some of us, who have had many lives, and yes, of course, I don't what I have history of being product management, program management, and all this other stuff for even for technology products. So it's kind of related, but so that just all that shows is I'm seasoned. But going forward, of course, I have to have a singular focus. I am a certified AI consultant, but now I'm like certified AEO specialist. I need to have those combined, not one versus the other. So that's one of the things that I'm struggling with. But the real question behind that is, at the very beginning, you guys had said that the LLMs look for the authority as a person, not a company. And now I heard you say that because ChatGPT has added some additional code that is looking at and recognizing brands like businesses and even product brands, so not individuals. Is that really new, or because it's like, am I going to push more my company or more me? I mean, I even have my own logo for Adrian Avella.
Okay,
I
okay.
have an
That's a
I have
lot to unpack, and sorry for stopping you there because there's many levels to it. So for the specific things, I'm noticing your background, and I see that there's a lot of things. But I will say like just prioritize the hierarchy. So if AI business consultant can have an underlying section, be the AO specialist, well, the priority is on the top thing, and I will say that could be the first layer of things, and you could have those live inside of that. That's kind of the topical map inside of that.
okay, okay, all right.
There's
So
no
that
use.
like a nesting. Hmm.
Yeah, there's no use of you claiming to be an expert on different types of things because we don't look for that. We look for the specific expert in some things, and then you get to explain the other things. What
Okay,
I was saying around brands being entities and everything on ChatGPT, that's because of shopping. And if
yeah,
you understand shopping is well specific to a reference and a product that I want to understand. Well, you cannot buy persons, you cannot buy individuals. That's a thing of the past. So in the future, humans are the best ones the ones that are easy to distinguish because we have names, last names, and also locations. Those are the things that makes us individual. But then there's the other relationships. So
right.
these things are separate. One thing is for shopping. That's the feature that ChatGPT just launched. And yeah, if you search for your name and you see a lot of pictures of different people, and some of that is you, there's your chance to start to optimize your own brand because there's no one that is being surfaced as the thing. Uh, a bigger
Okay,
challenge will be to if you have a name that is similar to a person that is more famous than you, that's a bigger lift, and then you will have to rely on your specific talents or specializations. That will be Adriana Vela, AI consultant or something like that. So that's kind of where you build relevance inside of your specific topic. So those
okay. So
are different.
that's a brand label for a person, or even a brand label for a company. Like, Marketing Next is the top whatever. Um, so I do have a label. I've already restructured my LinkedIn for AEO compliance, and I've restructured my bio within the company, but I am restructuring as well the content. But I want to offer here for the rest of the community because I know it'll benefit you. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I was working on with ChatGPT to get some scripts, and because of this restructuring, and he gave me some script, gave me a long tail script, and it actually has errors in it. So it had like links to some references, and I'm like, why is it referencing that? So I clicked on the link. Of course, it was a 404 page. So it's going to have errors. So I think we really, really need to. I mean, I always review whatever it gives me. I don't just take it, but even on script, it's going to do that. I wonder if Claude does a better job at
Well, advice that
creating
was
scripts.
given to me through Perry, and then by Perry was to have anything that you have generative also have quality control, and it can be really helpful to use different utilities. And so if you're using ChatGPT to generate, use Gemini to quality control, Claude to generate, ChatGPT to quality control. Very, very often, what ends up happening is the weakness in one ends up being the strength in the other, and vice versa.
Yeah.
We've only got 10 more or 8 more minutes, so I'm going to move on, Adriana.
Yep.
But
Yes.
those are great
Okay.
questions. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mike W. asked, can you go into more detail on agent accessibility? Mike, do you want to provide more context there before we wind Julian up and let him go?
Yeah, so in the prior seminar, you talked about LLM.text, and that's something to have in terms of it'll probably be useful in the future. It's not really all that adopted yet. And then also in the robots.txt, is there anything special that needs to be in there for, AI to pick it up? And also, does the sitemap have relevance to it?
Yeah, well, all of them play a part. Uh, in the capacity, like we have seen in the results that match Google, you for by all means have to follow Google's guidelines on your sitemap, like have all of the specific pages that you want indexed there. The robots .txt are really important, mostly if you haven't been the one that have edited it in right now, because some people might have blocked some of the bots, and there's mixed information in there. So like uh, people saying that Perplexity bot doesn't respect robots or anything. So anyways, you want to give access to this type of bots. If you identify a bot that you don't want in your site, there's the ByteDance robot, which is the TikTok robot that is really crazy, like crawling everywhere. Maybe you don't want that to be on your site, but by all means, make sure that the GPT bot user is allowed on your site. And I think we discussed this in the community actually, and I have sent resources on that, the specific names of the main AI user bots that you want to have access to your site. And that's interesting because of that. The LLM text is a great strategy because again, as we mentioned, we are going far away from UIs, most often than not. Even Elon Musk predicted like in 6 months we wouldn't have a need for software because every interface and every visual can be generated, AI generated. So the most important thing and the layer that survives is the data layer. So the LLMs .txt, what it includes is the routes and also the snippets. So that's the faster way that AI can consume the information within your website that you can provide. Now, the proof that it is being cited is again mixed because some people say that it isn't being requested by AI bots. Some other people will say that yes, it is used or not. So it's a useful thing to have right now, but we don't have right now the proof like it is the 90% of the thing that works. So we recommend it because it's technically sound. but still, we focus more on the other things like allowing access. There's this other thing that Cloudflare just did. I don't know, you guys run your websites on Cloudflare, but they once they released a new update a little while ago, they by default turn off all bots from your website. So that's worth checking out. There's ways to check that and make sure that these types of settings are allowing your user bots. So, and also distinguishing the type of bots that come from these types of tools, that's really important. So for now, we would like to open the doors more than limiting these things because we are on the verge of this element to be the most important thing to be included in answers.
That was a really good question. Good answer, Julian.
Yeah,
I like what,
Thanks.
just to double click on Julian's point
thanks,
about the
Mike.
data layer being the most important. People are going to cut, I think, is going as a habit, and then they're going to cut too deep potentially. So it's not about being succinct as much as it is removing the noise so the signal is available and accessible. Kurt, you got your hand up?
Hey,
Sure. I have a, a just a practical question. I loved your outline of all the things you're working on. Thank you. If it appears to me that I'm a writer, so how we're writing will change dramatically. So I'm curious if you're addressing like what is a good comparison article today, right? What is an AI preferred FAQ, those types of things as you run across those, or if we run across them as a group, I mean, I'm looking up something in Perplexity. Here's my thinking now. I look it
mhm,
up. It gives me a reference. I go to that reference to see if the frickin' words match, right? Or
mhm,
if it's just found something and was inventive. And
mhm,
so if I have to get my head around that, and
mhm.
I've got to start looking for examples because I can have all the technical stuff in the world, but if I don't have the words on the frickin' page that make sense, it doesn't do me any good.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, if we run across things, is there a way for us? Well, how should I approach finding good examples? I guess would be that
Mhm.
question. Or do we send them? Can I send some to you if I find them? How can we do this? I mean, I'll be happy to be the sorter and go through it and be the grunt.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Kurt. Kurt here is being the most active right now in the community, and he's always asking the right questions and giving people answers from the book. So, first of all, I want to acknowledge that from you, Kurt, that you have been so helpful. And this is one of the important questions to have right now, because it matters, and it's also depending on the current results. So the way that I think about this will be again something that could relate to the way that we used to run content for Google. Google is always telling you that the user is the most important um, person. So you are helping the user, you are going to get help from Google. That's funny because I was just reading an SEO study of somebody that ranked really high, like top one on rhinoplasty in a specific location with lorem ipsum content. So this is crazy how it works. So he let everyone know that Google is an algorithm still at the end of the day. So there's ways to circumvent these things. But I don't think that's true for AI. So you cannot put a lorem ipsum and fill in these check marks like only titles and everything. So I will say that. Serving the user right now is really the thing that AI is able to provide. So focusing on the things that they might be really, really asking, which is tricky again. We don't have the metrics, we don't have the data, but you can kind of at least cut out the fluff. So you could avoid all of the non-backed credibility claims. So our brand is being for 20 years and whatever, but if they're looking for features, there's no way that's out of the question. So you should optimize for relevance. So how relevant you are to the things that matter to them. And the way to find that out maybe is through, I don't know, maybe Quora or Reddit. Try to find your audience, what are they actually care about your product and service, and try to put those in writing, like in different ways. Don't write longer, like don't write huge blocks of text, but write that specific thing that you might excel at in different ways throughout the content, so you build like more chances to be cited, because that's also something that is important to say things in different ways that mean also the same thing that you want to be relevant for. That how you get your chances up, I think.
Thank you.
Julian, I've got a hop, but you can feel free to continue. We're a minute over.
I,
I just wanted to say thank you everybody who joined, and we'll be doing this every week. Don't forget to tune into the AEO show, which is our podcast that will also be featuring some of you on these calls as we repurpose this content. If you haven't had the book, it's yours for free in the community. Please share the community with other people. This is a network effect that's powerful. And Julian, you did a great job today, man. I'm out.
Awesome. Thank you, Kasim.
Thanks,
Yeah,
y'all.
thanks a lot. So yeah, guys, I can squeeze three questions because I have a team meeting pretty soon, so I have to prepare. But still, I don't want to lose the attention here, and I will be able to provide you guys with some other guidance. So let's jump in, please.
I have a question.
So,
How do we get the book?
you have the book for free on the free copy, digital copy inside of the community. So you are
It,
inside there. We
the,
have
the
it
book
as a
the
link.
book is at aeo.co/free. It's in the upper right hand corner.
Yeah.
Sorry for
Don't
interrupting.
worry, don't worry. That's really useful.
Thanks.
Uh, yeah, so you have those options. Or if you want it physical, you can get it on Amazon as well. So that's also an option. Do you guys have any specific question to the topic of today? So I will put the book out in here.
Yeah.
That's where you
Actually,
can.
I have another question that has to do with whether you guys are considering doing kind of like an affiliate program. So if I go the way I'm going to go, it would be great for me to be able to have people come,
Sure.
bring people over to your community, especially the paid communities. And if you offer an affiliate program, then I would have people register using that affiliate program, and I would get whatever, some commission out of it.
That's great. That's the thing that school already provides for. Let me just show you real quick if I can find it. Where is it? This is it. So this is already built in inside of school. So if you want, you can go through, no, this is the internal settings. You can go to your settings. You can go through affiliates. That's built in already on school. So
Sure.
all of the affiliate commissions are managed inside of there. But just make sure to click the specific group that you want to be an affiliate for, and that's
Hmm.
to provide you with the link, the referral link.
Perfect.
You just
Oh,
copy it and just send it out, and we have set up for the 40% commission. So any people that you refer, you will get 40% for the life of the customer. So that's really great. That's really
oh,
exciting.
wow. Okay. And
Awesome.
so in terms of payment, how does it handle it? Because that means I would have had to have put in, a link to my
Yeah, you have
bank.
to
And
register your specific payment options in there inside of the
sure.
school
Yeah.
set.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah.
great. Thank you.
Awesome. I noticed, Jack, I don't know if you're still here, but you mentioned that what killed SEO for you was constantly batting against high volume of negative SEO targeted to your website. So that's interesting. We are kind of leaving the website focus. So now we get to build our brand in the places that matter for AI. We get more chances to appear in AI results actually outside of our brand, of our website, sorry. So I think that still could be a thing that happens. There could be volume-based attacks. I think since this technology is still developing, there's a chance that people could just write bad things about you on review sites and everything like that. So that still could happen, but if you control most like the volume of the thing that is being talked about your brand, you should be safer in that sense. Um, so yeah, that's something to keep in mind, to watch out for, and also to invest. That's what you're seeing in paid media, that people are paying for their own brand name results, because ClickUp is paying for everyone's results. So you can pay for other brand results, and you will appear on top of those results for other people brand names if you pay. So that's kind of how weird it is right now in that sense. So I think the volume game is kind of the thing to play here, and that's a call to action, not to get overwhelmed, but rather build systems. AI is already so accessible that you get to build a lot of content that is not, of course, bad. You have to think a little bit on the concept, on the system that you put out, so your brand results, so this output is really good, instead of just some random stuff. But either way, there's never been so more opportunity for you to earn this thing than it is today. So any last question? I have to hop.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is really quick. The whole reference list, an AEO reference list, which has just like text and all the cross links and stuff like that where you show up. Where do I publish something like that? Because it's not something that I'm going to have on my website as a page. You, it's like it's sort of an authority page, and you have all the like presentations where you've spoken at and you're mentioned somewhere else. So you'd have that link and another link. Just say basically it's a lot of citations that you would have. So a combination, and I think it's called AO reference list or something like that. It's kind of like an Angie's list, like an index, a reference index. Yeah, AO reference index.
So yeah, well, going back to basics, that's how you define an entity. That's how you stand out from other people named like you, by connecting your site, your brand, your everything to those other sites, to the other profiles, external profiles, to podcasts that you appeared on. So that's one way. That's the way that you should do that.
I know, but where would this live? Where would it live so that AIs can find that information?
Well, that will be on whatever results that you get right now. So if you look for your name and you're not there, there's first the job to position either your website or your socials to be the one thing that is related to. But it will be your website. It will be your about page, which is the source of information for everything that you talk about
Okay.
yourself.
Yeah. Okay. I know you have to go, so I'm not sure I'm really asking the
Awesome.
question correctly. So I'll follow
Awesome,
up later.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. You
Thank you.
can follow up on the community. You can ask other people. Maybe they know the specific source that you are looking for. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. Again, if you are not right now in the community, you just have to join. You go to school.com/AEO, and you will find every resource. Our promise to you guys is that we are not holding anything back in terms of content, and we are going to be releasing the AO blueprint in the most updated version, the more clear and the more actionable way. So pretty excited about that, and see you next time.